Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
I want you to think about these words. Really, really think about these words, because it is happening. People respond favorably to a reduced cost of idleness by choosing to be idle more often. When they get income without earning it, they go to the country that allows them to exert less effort to guard their idleness. Boy, that's the way it is. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a patriot calling in. Come on, call in with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning. Oh, good morning. Good morning on a Thursday. I'm Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and along with some of our great advertisers like Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Good morning. And right now, let's get our Pledge of Allegiance on the air. Good morning.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know who this is. One of the greatest singers in the American states. Thank you so much, Linda Croft. God bless you.
Oh, you're welcome. Good morning, and we'll see you later.
All right. Thank you very much. She's going to be singing our national anthem again today at the Lunch Bunch. God bless Linda. Thank you. What a nice voice. Hey, let's get the weather on here real quick. And the weather brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. All your carpet and flooring, kitchen construction, home decor items. You know, an oversized piece of art, you know, like a painting or whatever, can set the stage for your whole home when it's showcased in the entryway. We do that on our home. We got a great big picture, huge, about, what is it, Deanna, about 3.5 by 4 of a bull rider. And that sets the stage for the way we live. Cheney Flooring and Home Design, whatever you need to make your house a home. 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. Here's Gina with the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. Partly cloudy for today, high of 37 with an overnight low of 25 is what we are expecting. Slightly breezy as well, winds out of northeast right around 11 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy for tomorrow, high of 41 with an overnight low of 29. Possible rain and or snow showers just depending on where you're at for Saturday, and 38. Snow showers possible for Sunday, and 36. Yesterday's high was 38 and the overnight low was 23. That's your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
She always does a great job on that weather. Thank you very much. And don't forget Cheney Flooring and Home Design. They've got, like I said, carpet, flooring, kitchen construction, home decor items, everything. Yes, at 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. Thank you. Merv May, come on in here. Let's sell some cattle, shall we?
All right. Good set of steer calves there. $30.31, 31 going out, 30.
Oh, that's the chant of the world's best auctioneer, Merv May, at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Oh, yeah. Merv May, Cade, Rogge, Lance, Udy, all of them, along with the rest of the crew, working for you. Sale time today, 10 a.m. Get up a little earlier, boys. 10 a.m. today at the Thursday Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Here's some of the cattle we know are coming through. Let's see. Earl and Carl Clayville over to Rupert. Hello, Clayville family. 100 head of good calves. Brandon Brackenberry up in Albion. He's bringing in 120 head of calves. Mackenzie Stevens over to Gooding. I know this family have for a long time. They're bringing in 50 to 60 head of mixed cattle. And the Bedke Wine Cup Ranch up at Oakley bringing 60 head of calves into the sale. BYU Ranch over to Malda. Hello, folks. 80 head of 650-pound steers. And Jay Hutchison of Rupert, 25 head of heifers. And the Split Butte Ranch of Rupert, 25 head of steers. Old Dave Zanino. Oh, by the way, I need somebody to help me on that last announcement about Dave Zanino. Dave fell on the ice. And so if you see him at the sale, he kind of injured his backside. Take a nice, soft little pillow for Dave to sit on. Make him comfy during the Burley Livestock Sale today. And there you have it at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Sale time at 10 a.m. 678-9411. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, you get a set of steer calves here to get $31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 5.5, 135, 50, 135, and I sell them $35. That mail get bought?
I'll tell you what, I don't mind that price, like I say every week, man. I've never sold for that good. Hey, there you go. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Zeb at the Ranch. And we've got a lot of things to remind you of. Let's see, Saturday on the 23rd. Don't forget from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Snug Bar and Grill in Eden, the American Legion Post 82 and the American Legion Auxiliary 82, hosting a spaghetti dinner fundraiser for the Jim Coleman family. They lost everything in a house fire. The cost is $10 with 100% of the proceeds going to the Colemans. There's also going to be live music starting at 7 p.m. with Gina Jones and a live auction, silent auction. And that's going to be this Saturday, the 23rd. Don't you miss it. By the way, our thanks also go out to our dear friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. And the number to call if you have, you're in a hurry and you need this stuff on the counter so you can run in, pay, get out, and they'll have it ready for you, 678-0459. They're open 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday, and they've got all the furnace filters. Oh, yeah, you can buy them in a case of 12, and you'll really get the discount pricing. So for your heating and electrical needs, and staying warm, Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Really nice people. One other note, and then we're going to get to the business at hand this morning. Today is Lunch Bunch, and it's at Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley, at 11:30. Now, Wheels, being the kind of a great young guy that he is, he's going to cover for me a few minutes at the end of the program today, so I can jump in my pick-em-up truck and get down the road without getting a speeding ticket, and get the Lunch Bunch starting at 11:30 at Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley, with Thomas and Terry, the whole crew. Great food, great service. We're going to have a good time, and also gift certificates supplied to us for door prize drawings from Stokes Fresh Food Market and Hanson Mortuary and Walmart. God bless them all. At Denny's, 611 Overland in Burley, at 11:30 this morning, Lunch Bunch. Don't miss it. All right, your calls are welcome and appreciated at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, it is really hard to turn on a newscast and not sit back in just total disbelief as to how bad this government and lack of leadership has put us in some of the most precarious, dangerous, serious conditions, whether it's fiscally or whether it's on security and safety. Whatever the issue, they have not done anything right. Now, let's talk a little bit about a scandal that we heard of quite some time ago, and then it got kind of pushed under the rug a little bit. But this scandal This lack of respect for our country and the people that serve it, and I'm talking about the Fast and Furious gun scandal, the gun running scandal to Mexico. Absolutely insane. Now, here's what we know. Some of the 1,400 guns, 1,400 guns of all types and calibers, ended up in the hands of some really, really bad people. Really bad people, including old El Chapo, the drug mobster from Mexico. He even personally had one of the weapons in his own hands, and he used it. One of the weapons of the 1,400 was also one of the guns that was used to kill Border Patrol Agent Terry. Extremely despicable. Now, this whole mess, this whole insidious mess that was tried to be covered up by the government, that Obama and his administration tried to say, well, we didn't know anything about it. No, well, now we're finding out more and more every day. And I honestly believe we're going to find out that it goes right back to Eric Holder, the then AG, Attorney General. And Eric Holder lied, and Obama's lied. But here's what they're trying to do right now. The Obama administration is trying to hush this matter up and just basically try to cover it up with a big blanket so that a lot of the communication and a lot of the documents are not in public information records. However, a lady federal judge said no yesterday. I wonder how her career is going to last. She said no. That is not going to be covered up. That is and should be public information, and it will be as long as I'm holding this judgeship. Now, like it was said last night on Greta Van Susteren's program, this absolutely imbecilic administration, and listen carefully to what I'm saying, they give guns to bad guys, and our people end up getting shot and killed. But this administration is trying to take your gun and my gun away. Providing weapons of all calibers and ammunition to bad vermin. I mean, these are the baddest of the bad. And yet, they want to take yours and mine away from us, whether it's a little 22, whether it's a 30-30. This is unbelievable. And I certainly hope that people in charge of investigatory means and methods don't let this matter drop. Your calls, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call, please. I'd like to hear from you. While I'm waiting for your call, I also want to say thank you very much to Zach and the crew over at Minnecasia Sales. You know, they've been riding the horse with us a long time on this program as they sponsor Dr. History on Tuesdays at 10:06, and I appreciate it. Man, I do. I mean, they're such nice people, and they've got so much of an inventory over there to serve you with all the lumber and all the shingles and all the windows, the western windows. Oh, my goodness. It's just about everything. You stop in and check it out today, and by the way, they got those great Tartar Farm and Ranch panels and gates, too. All of this and more at Minnecasia Sales, open 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday, and they bring you Dr. History on Tuesdays. Thank you very much. By the way, I had a call yesterday, and a lady wanted to know, are you still going to Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation? Yes, I am. As a matter of fact, we've got it now 2 days a week, and today is pool day. I know there's going to be quite a few remarks out there. Don't play like a beached whale in there, Zeb. Well, I'm going to go in and use the pool today. Yep, you better believe it. They've got that hydrotherapy pool with the treadmill in the bottom. Oh, yeah. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Exercises, sports medicine, they can help you get back to being and feeling like you. Absolutely, with the best of people. Headed up by Nick Greenwell, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. You give them a call today at 678-1191. Your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Now, if you have small children in your home right now that are possibly listening to this program with you, maybe for the sake of some of the words that are going to be used here on the air, and by the way, I want to say this up front. I will make no apology for the word that I'm going to use. None whatsoever. Because it is absolutely fitting for what I'm going to tell you this morning. So if those kids are out of the room right now and out of hearing distance of this radio, I'm just going to say this. With the absolutely insidious and absolutely inhumane way that ISIS and Al-Qaeda and other groups like Boko Haram and others are treating humanity, I want you to go to a dictionary today and look up the definition of this word. And again, do not criticize me for using it about the vermin that I'm talking about. Just recently, ISIS and Al-Qaeda, they've done absolutely heinous crimes against mankind, beheadings, burning of people in little cages, drownings, crucifixions, and now going into a university over in the Middle East in Pakistan, loaded with weapons, and shooting and massacring innocent students trying to get an education. These people are no more than cowardly bastards. Now, a lot of you might be, he said that on the air. Yes, I did, and I will not apologize for it. With the true meaning of the word, absolutely they are subhumans, inferior, illegitimate. And believe me, they are the vermin of the earth that should be held in complete contempt with hatred forever. They've got to be stopped. Do you realize that in this administration, Obama's administration, look at what has happened worldwide? Africa, the Middle East, Germany, here in America. It goes on and on as to the terroristic activities that are being gauged and waged against us. These are the worst of the worst. They are subhuman. And San Bernardino is going to happen again. I was on the phone day before yesterday with some people back in New York City. I'm not going to give their names out at this time. They're going to be coming on my program probably in 2 weeks, and they are engaged in anti-terrorist activities. And they absolutely said that the FBI and other surveillance methods in this country can't keep up. It's like the little Dutch boy putting his finger in a dam, and pretty soon the water pressure builds and builds and builds. Bam! Down goes the dam. They can't keep up. There are calls after calls, threat after threat. Speaking of threats, let's talk a little bit about what happened in New York City yesterday. Another series of phone calls to the New York Police Department with a voice that said mass killings of police officers will start shortly. How would you like to be a policeman on the beat in New York, Chicago, LA, anywhere across this country, knowing that you're there to serve the public, but you have the biggest target on your back? And I'd like somebody to call me and criticize me on this. I honestly do not see, I honestly do not hear, and I absolutely do not read about anything that our government is doing to eradicate these bastards from our society. Call me. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Berry Equipment and Rental. 3 locations to serve you. Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, South Lincoln and Jerome, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. They have all the equipment that you need to get the job done right. Now, they are phasing out some of their rental fleet, a lot of it, whether it's the Coyote tractors or whether it's the Bobcat equipment, and they've got great financing options available for you. Now is the time to check it out. I'm telling you, man, go to any of those locations, Twin Falls, Jerome, or 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Wonderful people serving you again with the equipment that you need. Berry Equipment and Rental. You stop in and see them today. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hi. I'm calling you from Twin, and I'm on my way up to Haley Ketchum area, so we might get cut off. Anyway, I want to tell you, I'm not going to comment a whole lot about the subject you're on because I don't know much about it. But I want you to know that I truly, truly enjoy your station when I can get it in on my radio. Otherwise, I have to listen to Bill Cully, which I'm going to be like you. I'm not going to apologize for my opinion. I think he's just a Rush Limbaugh wannabe, and I feel sorry for him if he wants to be like Rush Limbaugh. So anyway, I wanted to tell you how much I enjoy your show, and I'll let somebody else come on.
Well, you know, you're a very, very nice lady, and God's blessings to have a safe trip up to the Wood River Valley. Thank you for that call. That meant a lot.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. That was very nice. That was very nice. You know, in this business, you are either liked or you're hated. There really isn't any in between. Oh, there's a vast wasteland there. And I was having a really good conversation with somebody the other day about this. I mean, there is no in between. I mean, you're either going to have your fans, your friends, and your people that agree with you, or because of what you say, you're going to create a vast chasm of hatred and people that don't like you. And this business, you can't be friends with everybody. There is no middle of the road on subjects that are really important to America today. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Thank you.
Good morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir.
On that thought of that last caller, I got thinking last night, and I tried to call you. I had some other things I was going to talk to you about, but I've listened to you since I was 1998. I was a junior in high school. I do believe is when I started listening to you.
Wow.
And, yeah, time does go, my friend. Time does move. But at any rate, the topic at hand is the Fast and Furious and how our police department has police officers in this great nation have targets on their backs with the kind of weaponry that the Obama administration let go to thieves, killers, hoodlums, gangsters. Well, I wouldn't call them gangsters because old-time gangsters actually had class. I mean, just vermin of the earth, like you call them. Man, I'd be scared to death every day. And as it stands, I've said it before, if I ever see a police officer in need and in distress, you betcha, I'm going to be right there.
I appreciate that, Riley. You're a good young man. Thank you for your very kind remarks. And yes, time and the calendar and our wristwatches march on. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You betcha. Have a good one.
All right, sir. Thank you. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. Maybe I'm following that lady to Haley, but I'm losing you too. That was a great call. And, you know, I used to be a police officer, and I today feel that the White House is doing nothing to protect our people in this country, and especially the police officers, because they have done all they can to stir it up against the police officers on the beat.
I agree with you.
try and listen.
All right. God bless you, my dear friend. Thank you very much. I'll say this, and I'm not trying to patronize or just absolutely kind of sidle up to the police officers whatsoever. No, I've always said on this program that our police officers, and I'm going to incorporate another group into my statement because I'm very prejudiced about this next group, and that's firemen. Police officers and firemen, in my opinion, are the least appreciated of people that serve the public and put their lives on the line. When there is a devastating fire, when there's a shooting, when there's something of danger, they run to it when the rest of us are told to run away from it. The money, the pensions, whatever, minuscule for putting your lives on the line. And now, because of the absolute disrespect for what they do and how they do it. And by the way, I want to incorporate a name here. I was listening to Hillary Clinton the other night when she was on television and coming out with this, there's so much racial injustice with our police and this. Wait a minute, that encompasses and makes it feel like it's an all statement. All. No. They're not even parsing the words to say, well, we've had a case here, or maybe a case here. But no, when they encompass everything and say, well, all racial injustice by police departments, that totally offends me. And all the more reason why this woman is not qualified to even be running for the presidency of the United States. Caller, I'm going to ask you a big favor. I have to get a commercial in here real quick. I'm about 2 minutes behind. And just hang with me for about 30 seconds. I'll be right there. Don't forget Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Oh, my goodness. Hear what you're missing. Absolutely. And I would say, heartily advise you to call 312-0957 and make an appointment for a hearing screening. I did, and I'm so glad I did, because we found some little problems that are rectified, and I really appreciate Dr. Christine Pickup. Across from the Minidoka Hospital Emergency Room, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. That number to call, 312-0957. Caller, good morning, and thank you for your call and your patience. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, young man. Hey, with the police and that, I'm showing my support. I tied a blue ribbon around my mailbox, and I put a blue ribbon on the antenna of my pickup.
Oh, God bless you.
And let's get some people in the Magic Valley doing that.
Let me ask you a simple question, Doug, and this is true for you and me and others. You know, we were all kids once. We were all teenagers once, and I can remember on more than one occasion, yours truly may have been picked up for speeding. Yours truly might have been doing something that might not have been right. I didn't do anything as far as stealing or anything like that. But you know, when you go to college, you get involved in dumb things. But yet, you know, at that time it's the cops this, the cops that. But you know what? They're doing their job of protecting supposedly a civilized society with laws and regulations. God bless them, and they don't get nearly the credit that they deserve.
And they don't get the pay they deserve.
That's right.
Their life on the line to protect us.
That's right.
They should be paid way more than the politicians, because the politicians hinder our lives, and the police make it safer.
But you know, I don't know why it's been allowed to happen. That whether it's the Al Sharptons, whether it's the Jesse Jacksons, whether it's the Black Lives Matter group, and I got a story about them in a few minutes that'll make your hair curl, what little I have left, and then whether it goes to President Obama, whether it goes to anybody in government today, the lack of respect for the police and all they do by putting themselves on the line. And every single day, including today, we hear about officers that are shot in the line of protecting us.
I know it. It's insane the way they're treated with lack of respect, just like the Vietnam vets when they come back.
Yes.
And that's a lot of that's thanks to John Kerry for the hatred for the Vietnam vets.
When he sat there in front of that Senate hearing as a supposed representative of our United States military, way back after he came back from Vietnam, and basically just denigrated and deposed any courage or respect for our military, and then the guy years later becomes Secretary of State, something's wrong with this jigsaw puzzle.
Yes, it is. Somebody trimmed a few tabs off to make it fit.
That's a good way to put it. I like that. I'm going to steal that. I like that.
Go for it.
All right. Hey, man. God bless you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, let's respect our police, and I'll guarantee you, if I see a policeman in trouble, I will stop and help.
Amen.
Do what I can.
Amen. God bless you, man. I appreciate it.
You too.
You know, like I said, and I'm going to be very forthright and honest, I'm very prejudiced about firemen and policemen. My son Jake, I know some people out there that are the negative nannies, you know, oh, you're talking about your kids again. Yes, I am. I'm proud of Jake. I really am. He puts his life on the line every day as a fireman and also as an emergency responder. And he doesn't get paid nearly enough for the danger, the hassle, and sometimes the very low caliber of people that he is working so hard to keep alive. And the same is true with our police. And when I hear somebody stand up at a podium, whether it's Hillary Clinton, whether it's Bernie Sanders, whether it's anybody, and denigrate what they do, or the mayor of New York City that basically caused a lot of the problems for his own police force, Bill de Blasio, I honestly think there should be a hurried petition signing to throw these so-called politicians out of office, never to run again. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Did you hear this group, Black Lives Matter? There is a never-ending list of stupidity going on in our country that's allowed to flourish. Black Lives Matter. Now, anybody with any common sense and any decency is never going to say something as stupid as, well, your life doesn't matter, unless they are the vermin like ISIS and Al-Qaeda. But when you talk about people, whether they're of Oriental descent, or whether they're of Negro descent, or whether they're Caucasian, or whatever, all lives matter. All lives matter. And I am absolutely fed up to the gills with Black Lives Matter. And what they did yesterday was indicative of how absolutely pathetic this organization is. They had a group of the Black Lives Matter tie up a bridge, literally, in San Francisco. What they did is they took one side of the freeway going over the bridge, and they took chains, and they went from the bridge railings, and they parked their cars across the freeway to the other bridge railing, and then they ran the chains through the open windows of the automobiles so that they could not be moved, and then they locked the chain. Why? Well, they wanted to bring attention to what they consider their plight as Black Lives Matter. Now, my initial reaction after hearing what they did and tying up traffic on a very busy bridge for almost over an hour, not allowing any of the security vehicles or emergency vehicles to get through. I do not know, as of this program this morning, if there were any deaths attributed or any injuries that were not cared for attributed to what they did. I don't know. I'm still checking on that. But quite frankly, I think when law enforcement officers finally got to the scene, I think my initial reaction would have been to say, can you swim? I would not at all have been opposed to maybe pushing about a handful over the bridge to let the other ones know that this is not acceptable behavior. This has got to stop. This has absolutely got to stop. In a free society, you have the right to protest, but you do not have the right, at any way, shape, or form, to jeopardize other people's lives and livelihoods. I don't think Black Lives Matter at all in this situation. Their group is insidious and evil. I'll say it again for those of you that might have been, their group is insidious and evil. And when you stop a thoroughfare of people trying to get home from work or go to the doctor, or an emergency vehicle trying to pick up somebody in an ambulance, or a fire truck trying to go to a fire, or whatever the case, you have committed, I think, a crime against civilized society, and you should be thrown in jail, and the key might not be found. Black lives matter, white lives matter, all lives matter. But don't push it this way. This is absolutely ridiculous. But they're going to get away with it. And they'll do it again. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Please give me a call. I'd appreciate it. While I'm waiting for your call, I think we'll go ahead and have the weather forecast real quick. And on our weather forecast for this hour, we say thank you to a wonderful business over on the square in Rupert. I'm telling you, I love this business. They can do and make anything. I'm serious. Mad River Laser. All your business promotional items. I've got to get Nicole started on some of the projects for me. Call her. I'll be right there. Don't you dare hang up. Mad River Laser, 502 East Street in Rupert. All the jackets, the caps, the calendars, the writing equipment, the plaques, the trophies, everything at Mad River Laser. Here now is Gina with our weather.
Here's your weather forecast for Zebeth Ranch. Partly cloudy for today, high of 37 with an overnight low of 25 is what we are expecting. Slightly breezy as well, winds out of northeast right around 11 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy for tomorrow, high of 41 with an overnight low of 29. Possible rain and or snow showers just depending on where you're at for Saturday, and 38. Snow showers possible for Sunday, and 36. Yesterday's high was 38 and the overnight low was 23. That's your weather for Zebeth Ranch.
She does a great job. That was kind of an interesting tune in the background. I wanted to hear more of that. I love organ music. Hey, anyway, don't forget Mad River Laser, 502 East Street in Rupert. Nicole and the rest of the crew can do anything for your business. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, speaking about Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, when the San Bernardino terrorists were killing people, do you think they cared whether or not they were white, Hispanic, or black, or Asian? They didn't care one bit. And so when we get right down to it, if we truly care about protecting our country, we all need to realize that when it comes down to terrorists of the Muslim persuasion, that they don't care who they kill.
Now, Randy, wait a minute. I want you to stop right there for a minute. I'm glad you brought this subject up the way you did, because let's talk about this a little bit. You and I have gone to literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of conventions and dinners and banquets where you go into a room and maybe there's 8 or 10 people per table, and you're sitting in this room, and can you just imagine the horror of what happened at San Bernardino, where these people were celebrating a huge kind of a pre-Christmas party on behalf of what they did for their work, and all of a sudden the doors open up and they are being gunned down. It can happen anywhere at any time, and I'll go back and say what I said a little bit ago. These are cowardly bastards that need to be eradicated and eliminated from the face of the earth, but our government, in my opinion, is not doing anything.
No, they're not. this is for example of how infested they are, like infection in our lives. In Dearborn, Michigan, they literally have taken over that city. They drive around in $80,000 Range Rovers, and they have Medicaid cards where the government's paying for their medical expenses, whether or not it's Obamacare or not. They have food stamps, and they wear designer clothes, I guess in some cases, because some of them are all covered up. They have Prada bags. Now, I'm not that sharp about this, but I guess these Prada bags are unbelievably expensive, like $2,000 or something.
Yeah.
To these bags. And at the schools in Dearborn, Michigan, they have two menus, one for the Muslims and one for the regular folks. And you know how Michelle Obama tells the rest of us how to eat, how our children should eat at school.
Yeah.
She says nothing about what they're supposed to eat in the Muslim menu. And so, you see, this is the kind of thing that is happening. They are taking over, and there's no way you're going to eradicate this. I'm telling you, somehow it's got to be stopped. And right now, with the refugees in Twin, that program is still functioning, even though everybody's acting like it's somehow on hold.
Oh, let me interrupt you. I want to interrupt you there again. Pardon me, but you just touched on something else. I talked to about a half a dozen people yesterday of various jobs and various employment and various locations around Twin. And each and every person I talked to, Randy, honestly, they were business owners or maybe employees or they had their own business. Every single one of them said they were absolutely opposed to the refugee program through CSI.
Yes, and we all kind of think it's been put on hold because of San Bernardino, but it isn't. They're still coming. Hey, one more quick point. The name Mohammed for newborn baby boys is up 10,000%.
Yeah.
Up 10,000% in the year 2015.
All I can say is if it's up 10,000%, I guess I feel really slighted because I hear of very few Zebs.
Hey, I guess we have to keep our sense of humor.
All right, buddy. God bless. Take care. Have a good day. Thank you very much. You know, and now bear with me on this because a lot of people will say, well, every day on your program you have something to slant this, slant that. Yeah, I do. And you know why we do it that way? Get your head out of the sand and get involved. Get your head out of the sand and realize reality as to what's going on around us. Every single thing that I put on this program, and I want you to hear this from me again, it's not anything that hasn't been verified. I go through with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that every single thing we put on this program is absolutely 100% or more verifiable. I don't deal in speculation like some do. And I'll give you another story that ought to just make you curdle your milk a little bit. A Kent State University professor in Ohio. And, of course, the history of Kent State going back into the 60s and 70s, lots of problems and turmoil. A Kent State University professor in Ohio, a professor teaching our kids, all of a sudden it came out yesterday that this Kent State professor has ties to ISIS and previous terrorist activities. And he has been preaching in his classrooms to the kids how he hates the United States of America. And he has said that terrorism against the United States is absolutely okay. And this Kent State professor is being paid by the taxpayers in the state of Ohio. And this Low Vermin stands up in front of a classroom and tells these kids with all these minds that are ready to grasp onto anything, oh yeah, well the professor said it's okay to have terrorism against the United States. Good heavens. And he's being paid for by the taxpayers of Ohio. You know, how far does stupid get before stupid is cast out? My goodness, we're letting the interior of our country and the interior of our education programs and the interior of our churches and our beliefs and our doctrines be ripped apart by insanity. Pretty soon somebody's going to come out and they're going to say, oh, it's okay to kill somebody. Well, it's okay to go rob and steal if you really want the item that bad. Well, it's okay to do this and that. And the Bible has taught us forever, since holy men of God spake as they were moved by the Holy Ghost, that we would see good become evil and evil become good. And quite frankly, I think we're there. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I'm waiting for your call, I want you to remember your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. They're all over the valley to serve you. 7 great locations, absolutely. And they've got all the traction tires. Oh my goodness, all the different tread designs. They've got the studded tires. They've got all the snow wheels. They've got the tire chains. Oh, you can't get stuck. Nope, you'll get through the snow, the ice, and the muck. They've got them all. And I want to tell you also a little bit about the front end alignments. Don't be driving with a car that's going to pull you over to the barrel pit. Be careful. It's going to wear your tires, and it's very, very dangerous. Best in front end alignment, shocks and struts, and brake service, like I said, and batteries. They've got it all. You stop in, and they will treat you with the best of service. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, John on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley, the best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All right, your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I couldn't help but comment on this morning, because I'm going to give it to you straight and honest. I'm not going to try to weasel it through. I'm just going to tell you the truth. I thought it was so despicable about Bruce Jenner. I'm not going to be a part of the media that's going to accept his sex change ideas of transgenderism. Not going to do it. Nope. I have a right to my opinion. I'm going to hold on to that dearly. Bruce Jenner is going to have another book coming out. Isn't that wonderful? Oh. And then they're planning on making a little movie about what they say Bruce Jenner's brave transition to womanhood. Doesn't that just curdle your Cheerios? Yuck! What kind of a society is this? Front page of the USA Today yesterday. Oh, but they called Bruce by his female name. I refuse to. They're absolutely embellishing and raising up extreme sin and very devious ways. I'm not going to do it, but I'm sure going to tell everybody how wrong it is. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Yeah, a little bit lighter note here this morning. Yesterday evening, the Washington, D.C. area back east got just a little skiff of snow. Just a little skiff of snow and a little ice. And they had people crashing into sidewalks. They had people crashing into benches on the side of the sidewalks, on the curbs. They had people crashing into phone booths. They had people crashing all over. They don't know how to drive on this stuff. And I was listening to one of the broadcasters this morning early, and he said, my goodness, if they're going to be crashing and thrashing around on just a skiff of snow, What are they going to be doing on Saturday when the Washington, D.C. area is expected to get up to 3 feet of snow? Oh, my goodness. It's going to be the end of the world for those people. But on the other hand, maybe with 3 feet of snow, it'll keep them off the roads. I know for a fact that when I've been back east, these people do not know how to drive. If you give them any inclement conditions, it just seems like they're on the highway to heck. They're going to drive right off the barrel pit and sit in the ditch until somebody comes along and says, poor baby. And they were crashing at just a skiff of snow. Oh, it's going to get ugly this weekend when they get 3 feet. Yeah, 3 feet, that's what they're predicting. Well, you're listening to Zeb at the Ranch. Make sure you're hearing everything. Contact Mount Harrison Audiology for a hearing screening. If you're having problems, call them at 312-0957 today. What have we got coming up next hour? Well, we've got the Chamber Report with Kay Cameron, and then we've got Dog Nation. And then at 9:30, we've got Rita Ramsey. Always look forward to having Rita on the phone, and along with some other different segments. And then later on this morning, we're going to have, of course, Cassia County School Days. Kyle Hodges is going to be on the air with us. I really appreciate talking to her. She's really good. So we'll send it back over to Wheels for a couple of minutes, 6 to be exact, and then we'll be back with more Zeb at the Ranch. Don't go away. Oh my, here we go. Hour number 2. Yep, stood up, looked outside at the weather. Kind of a funny looking sky out there. You know, a little cloudy, and then there's a break. There's a little blue sky. Whoop, there's another one over there. Hopefully it'll break up. I'd love to see a complete day of sunshine here pretty quick. Good morning, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers, including Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Thank you very much. We're going to have our guest on the phone in just a moment. Stand by, but I also want to remind you about our dear friends at Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Joel Heward, his staff, family, all of them when you need them. And believe me, the comforting fact of knowing that people are there to serve you and help you and assist you when there's the passing of a loved one, and they are there. Always with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. Please call them today, 436-5636. We all should get the pre-planning information. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. There to serve you with Joel Heward, his staff, and his family. All right, let's see. What else have I got cooking here real quick? I'll take care of that in a few minutes. But right now, here's a lovely, beautiful lady as the director of the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. Good morning, Kay Cameron.
Good morning, Zeb.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to see the sun shining this morning.
Oh, you've got sunshine over there.
Mostly.
Oh, well.
Through the clouds. Yeah, the sun's kind of shining on my back in my office window. It feels kind of nice.
I'll be over in 10 minutes. Thank you very much. What's going on at the chamber?
Well, it's coming up a week from tonight. We're going to be celebrating our annual installation banquet where we install our new directors. We're certainly looking forward to that. It's the first of the year. It's going to be a fantastic year in Minnecasia for 2016. That's just my prediction. I just think it's going to be a great year.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of good business people. There's a lot of good folks in this area. I think you're safe in assuming that it could be a great year.
Absolutely. I always say anywhere I go, we have the best people in this community. We have people that volunteer for all kinds of different things that make this community really great, and I'm just really proud that I have the opportunity to represent such a great community.
Well, I would say that all the people there at the chamber office, they're all very nice people, headed up by you, and of course that great gift shop. I brag on that gift shop over there because you've got so many unique items. They're really, when people stop in that are from out of state, boy, that's something to take home as souvenirs.
Absolutely. We really see a lot of locals, though. We see a lot of people coming in that are looking for Idaho, unique made-in-Idaho gifts or homemade things or Idaho souvenirs. If they have family, friends, or relatives out of town, or if they're traveling, then we see a lot of locals in here as well. But we do try to carry, fun and unique kind of things.
I would imagine that now in what they call the dull, dead days of winter, January going into February, you are really busy gearing up for another great big tourist season.
We are. I was in Twin Falls yesterday for regional tourism meetings, and I think we're gearing up to have a pretty great year.
Now, what do you do to maybe come up with innovative ideas? I mean, do you call other chambers in other parts of the state or the Northwest and maybe compare notes and share ideas? I mean, how do you keep things on the cutting edge of being fresh?
Well, region-wide, our regional tourism entity actually has a great partner that does a lot of their digital marketing, and they've just partnered with a new firm that really has got a lot of great ideas, and a lot of it's, like I said, it's digital marketing. That's really just the trend. That's the future. That's what people are utilizing, and really using the tips from the experts is really kind of the key here.
Okay. Now, how long have you been in your position there at the chamber?
I have been the executive director since 2008.
All right. Now, so you're looking at basically 8 years, rounding everything off. And I'll bet you that when you look back to when you started as to where you are today, it would absolutely make you slap your forehead and say, holy buckets, have things changed the way we advertise and publicize?
Well, that is so true. Even the way we utilize things. If I'm looking for a phone number, a lot of times you just Google it. It pops right up if you're sitting at your computer. Just the way you market to people, the things that people are utilizing, it certainly is changing all the time.
Well, anything else coming up that you'd like to broadcast for us as you look out on the river?
I want to mention, going this, I think it might be most of this month, or maybe this week and next week, at the Tin Roof Coffee House. They're hosting an art show and fundraiser, and they are exhibiting different pieces of local artists and students from Burley High School. So you can go there. It doesn't cost anything to go and check it out, but they are accepting donations for that, and all of the proceeds are going to benefit the art program at Burley High School. So if you're interested in seeing the local art by local students, go check things out at Burley High School.
Absolutely. And then we go back to the age-old question, how can somebody get a hold of you at the Chamber of Commerce?
Come by and see us. We're located at 1177 7th Street in Hayburn. Give us a call at 208-679-4793. Find us online at minikajachamber.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
There you go. Okay, God bless. Have a wonderful week.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you very much. Kay Cameron at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Let's not forget our friends at Let's Ride. Yep, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. That's right, where the fun is sold. They've also got a variety of motorcycles and motorcycle accessories. Did you know that? And they've got all your ATVs. Holy cow, get ready for spring. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Head for the hills with us. And they've got all the accessories, like I said, and a great, great service department. I'll tell you what, you're going to be impressed, and we're going to have them on the air a little bit later on this morning. I think they're going to be on at about 10:23, and we're going to be talking about all the new things for 2016. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, where the fun is sold. By the way, too, if you're over there, you had better make plans to call 436-4424. While you're in the neighborhood, stop in and check out Cameron and Siemens Insurance with all the life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits. Make sure that you are protected and covered. Well, they will and they can at Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Devoted to serving you. Once again, that number for an appointment, 436-4424. I want to reiterate that we are going to be at Denny's Restaurant at 11:30 this morning, and it's our lunch bunch for the month of January, our first one for this year, 2016. I urge you to come on down. If you haven't been to Lunch Bunch, come on down and enjoy. We'd love to have you there at Denny's Restaurant starting at 11:30. We've got door prizes, and we want to say thanks to Stokes Fresh Food Markets and Hanson Mortuary and Walmart. They have been so gracious to help us with door prize gift certificates, etc. We really appreciate them. You're going to enjoy the food and the company right there at Denny's at 11:30 today for Lunch Bunch. I mentioned this the last couple of days, and I'm going to do it again right now because I'm not on the air on Fridays, so I want to be sure and mention this. It's coming up on Saturday. The American Legion Post 82 and American Legion Auxiliary number 82 in Eden is hosting a spaghetti dinner fundraiser for the Jim Coleman family. They lost their home and everything in a fire. That's right. And this couple of weeks ago. Well, the fundraiser is going to be this Saturday, January 23rd, from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Snug Bar and Grill at 165 West Wilson in Eden. So the cost is only $10 per person, and 100% of the proceeds is going to the Colemans. And before that, I think maybe right after that, they're going to have a silent auction and live music starting at 7 p.m. with Gina Jones. So all of that at the Snug on Saturday from 4 to 8 p.m. I had another news note, and I can't find it right now. Let me take a look. This is a personal note. I just want to say this because I really enjoy their music, and I enjoy their personalities. Joey and Rory Feek. You probably, if you follow country music, you probably were aware that husband and wife team, and Rory Feek had written a lot of great country music tunes and had been a singer and guitar player a long time out of the Nashville area. And then he married Joey Feek. And they had a little bit of age difference, between them, but just happily in love and a great marriage, and both of them absolutely wonderful entertainers. And then the roof caved in. Absolutely. My wife and I were on our way up to Montana this last summer, and we were going to go to Music Ranch, Montana, because we had tickets, front row tickets, for the Joey and Rory Feek concert they were going to have up there. We have followed these two for a long time in their musical career, and we absolutely wanted to go up and enjoy their music firsthand. And we got a call, and the lady up there in charge of the tickets called me up, and she said, "Mr. Bell, I just want you to be aware that bad news about the Feeks." And I said, "What happened?" And she said that Joey has been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and not expected to live very much longer. And it was devastating for the entire country music world. And I know that Bill Gaither from the Gaither Gospel Hour and everybody else was commenting about, "Oh man, this is just absolutely terrible and horrendous." But she, Joey, took it with a higher level of class than I've ever heard of. She didn't want to go through all the chemo treatments and everything else, and they had just recently had a baby, and unfortunately, but then also fortunately, it was a Down syndrome baby named Indiana. And that baby right now has kept Joey going. When I first heard about Joey and her cancer, they had at one point said that she only had like 3 or 4 months to live, and that was quite a few months ago. And now, thanks to this little baby, Indiana, 22 months of age right now, that baby is literally keeping her hanging on and going. And I just give them all the credit in the world. Everybody looks at show business people and entertainment people as thinking that they lead kind of plastic, phony lives, Tinseltown lives. No, not so. I know a lot of them, and I know these folks, and I wish them the very best. These are really humble, great people, and I wish them God's blessings because they're above everything else, just fine folks. God's blessings to them. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I also want to remind you about our friends at Red's Trading Post. Oh, my goodness sakes, I forgot to call Ryan yesterday. My fault, my bad. Red's Trading Post, since 1936, has been in historic Old Town Twin Falls. That's right, Old Town Twin Falls, at 203 5th Avenue South in Twin. And they've got all the firearms from Browning, Beretta, Weatherby, Ruger, Benelli, Smith & Wesson, Winchester, and all the ammunition, all the accessories. And Ryan wanted me to let you know that they've also got the hard-to-find powder for all the reloads. So if you're one of those reloaders, hey, they've got your powder right there at Red's Trading Post, 203 5th Avenue South in Twin Falls. I wonder, Wheels, is our good friend over there waiting for us this morning, Kennel Ken?
Actually, sir, he is on the phone because he is out having to pick up a dog today.
You mean to tell me that Kennel Ken of Minidoka Animal Control is waiting on the phone?
Yes, sir.
Well, then let's play the opening. Where did all these dogs come from? Oh, my goodness sakes. Yes, sirree, Bobby. It's time. I just hung a new nickname on him. Kennel Ken. Kennel Ken Mort. That's hard to say sometimes fast. And with Minidoka Animal Control, catching a puppy as we speak. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Got all 4 of them rounded up out there in the Kamama Desert and got them bringing them into the facility. 4
of them? What happened out there?
I got a call this morning from a gentleman who works for the Highway District and said that he was out north of Minidoka, and there were 4 puppies that were just hunkered down in some brush and looked like somebody had dumped them, and if I can come get them. So.
Oh, my goodness. What kind of puppies are they?
They actually look like they are Black Lab Chesapeake crosses.
Oh.
And they're probably about 4 months old.
And no sign of the mother?
Nope.
Oh.
No sign of the mother anywhere. Somebody put a bunch of dog food out there for them to eat on. But they're safe and sound and going to be warm here in just a little bit once I get them out of the back of my truck.
Now, honestly, forget that you used to be a veteran. Forget that you are Minidoka Animal Control. Wouldn't you just like to get your hands on the people that dropped them off for 2 minutes?
Yes, I would. There's a lot of other people out there that would like to do the same thing. The phone call I got, they were saying and stuff, if they were able to get their hands on them, that they'd like to take them once around the tree.
Yeah, personality adjustment period.
Exactly.
Yeah, now tell us a little bit what about these puppies? What are you going to do with them?
Actually, I'm going to get them back to the facility. We're going to get them checked out, get them vaccinated. We're going to get their pictures taken. We're going to get them posted on our Facebook page. We've got because they weren't officially owner surrendered, we will be holding them for a minimum of 5 days to see if an owner comes forward to claim them, because you never know, somebody might have just snagged them from an owner and took them out and dumped them someplace because they were getting tired of them running around or something.
Yeah.
We've had that happen before. But after 5 days, they'll be available for adoption, and we hope to be able to find them homes. If not, I know we've got rescues that will jump on them and get them good homes as well.
Let me ask you this. Are they in pretty good health and look like they're going to be real healthy puppies?
Yes, they do. Matter of fact, they all actually look like they're a little overweight.
Oh, really?
I mean, they're nice and plump for their size.
And you say they're about 4 months old, right?
Yeah, they're about 4 months old.
Oh, my goodness. I wonder, you know dogs better than anybody I know. How big will these dogs get when they're full grown?
They'll be about a larger sized dog. They'll be as big as a black lab.
Okay. And along with these puppies, what else is happening over there at Minidoka Animal Control?
Well, today I want to feature Lucy.
Lucy!
Lucy. She is a Sheltie Border Collie cross.
Okay.
She's 5 years old.
All right.
She's a tricolor. She is very, very friendly, good with kids and other dogs. Was cat friendly until the cat attacked her, and now all she wants to do is bark at him.
Smart dog.
But she is well-mannered, house-trained, leash-trained. The owner wound up having to surrender because of his work schedule, wasn't able to spend the time that she needs. But like when talking about her being well-mannered, when she jumps up on you, she is very soft to forgetting loving. I mean, she just barely places her paws on you. I mean, she makes somebody, if they needed a service dog, a good service companion dog, she would make somebody the best service companion dog.
You know something, in a dog like this, now tell me if I'm wrong, but where you have an owner surrender and the people were kind-hearted enough to realize that they couldn't take care of the dog, they know all the dog's attributes and its personality, this is a rare find for somebody to get a dog that they know exactly what they're getting.
Exactly. I mean, we actually really appreciate when people do owner surrender because they can't take care of them and are able to give us all the information that they have on the dog. I mean, whether the dog is spayed or neutered or current on his vaccinations. I mean, every little bit helps, especially in helping us be able to find it the right home.
Well, now, what do you suggest they do? Give you a call so they can come down and interview Lucy?
Yeah, if anybody's interested in Lucy, they can call me or call the facility at 438-2200, or they can call me on my cell phone at 670-7268.
Now, Ken, boy, I mean, you're all over that Minidoka County. Fortunately, you're not getting a lot of calls on dogs that are left out in the desert, are you?
No, I think this is the second one I've received in the 3 years I've been doing this job.
Oh, my goodness sakes. And no information about where the mother might be at all, right?
No information whatsoever. When out there, because there's still quite a bit of snow out there, the only tracks that were in that area were the tracks of the puppy. There were no larger dog tracks at all.
Oh, my. And I suppose in this colder weather, they were all huddled up by a sagebrush or something, right?
Well, you can see right where they were bedded down next to the brush and laying together to stay warm.
Oh, my goodness sakes. Well, I'll tell you what, we certainly hope somebody will call and give them a home. Man, I'll tell you. What else have you got cooking? Do you need any donations or anything?
We're always needing donations of bedding. I mean, we've got a few people out there that have been making these pillow-type beds for the dogs out of jeans-type material, which has been really nice for the dogs to keep them off of the concrete floor. With comforters, I mean, any kind of blanket, sheets, whatever you're not using that may even have just a little hole in it, we can still use. Always looking for towels, wash rags, dog food donations. I mean, to include canned dog food. Because right now I've got a 11-year-old. Border Collie cross in my facility that has got arthritis, and that's the only issue he's got besides being deaf, and he can't eat hard food, so we have to feed him the soft canned food.
Yeah.
And we're starting to run a little low on that, so if anybody out there wants to just swing by the store, pick up a couple cans, and donate to us, we'd greatly appreciate it.
Hey, Ken, real quick, I would imagine that you're very, very happy with the success of what's going on over there at Minidoka Animal Control with your new facility and everything, and I'll bet you're real happy that the public really has got behind you.
We are. I mean, we are so thankful for everybody who has helped with getting this facility up and going, and the donations for the kennels that we needed and the fencing that we needed to put up. And everything that had to be done so that we could get moved into this new location and get a better life for the dogs while they're in our facility.
Absolutely. Old Kennel Ken right there. My buddy Ken Mort with Minidoka Animal Control. Take care of those puppies and let us know how they're doing, okay?
Will do, and God bless, Deb.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate it. Where'd all these dogs come from anyway? Holy cow. Minidoka Animal Control, Officer Ken Mort. And I just really appreciate what he does. You know, it takes a real low personality, if they had one, to leave dogs off out in the desert to fend for themselves, puppies or whatever, or drop off dogs out in the rural areas. We've had the problem here quite a few times over the years that I've owned this place. What kind of a lowlife would just say, all right, open the door and let them out. Let them fend for themselves. They're on the highway. They might get hit. They might whatever. They don't care. What happened to their human personality? Oh, my goodness sakes. It is Thursday, and I can hear her on the other end of the line as she is excited to be on the program again this morning. Good morning, Rita Ramsey. How are you?
Good morning. I'm real good.
Well, Rita, every week is another week of jaw-dropping information as to what's going to happen in politics and world security next. Holy smokes, we've got so many things to talk about this morning, we don't have enough time. I'm going to let you do something a little different than what I normally do on the program. I usually throw you a subject, but this morning I'm going to let you throw in the first subject. So go ahead, fire at will.
Well, surprisingly enough, I'm not going to talk about politics to start with.
Oh.
I'm going to talk about what is the most important topic of our time.
Okay.
Do you have any idea what it would be?
Well, I'm teetering on the brink of education. I'm teetering on the brink of whether it's Social Security and Medicare. I don't know.
Oh, it would have to be global warming.
Oh, how dare I forget.
Actually, as I was watching the news shows last night, the little reader thing across the bottom was telling how 2015 was the hottest year on record, and according to NOAA and everything else. And it's not getting much headway because politics, of course, are taking a lot of the headlines. But it really bothers me because this, what's the name of it? North Oceanic something association.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
There you go. NOAA, who is the ones who collects all this data and puts it out and everything, have been, and I had mentioned this last time probably, or the time before, I can't remember what, have been putting out the information, but their figures are bogus, and they just keep trying to spoon feed it to us until we'll believe it. And I think that we need to keep that in mind as we decide who the kind of people are that we want to be our leaders of the country.
Well, they have inherited another friend on their side en masse. It's the editorial staff of the Times News that has bitten into the apple of global warming and climate change hook, line, and sinker. So I'm doing my best on this program to convince them that they are ill-advised.
Well, all I know is that if people would do a little bit of homework, and you can go to that, go to the websites, or you can go to Judicial Watch, is probably one of the best places to find out what's really going on with that. Judicial Watch has got a lawsuit against NOAA, and it's because they have changed the figures, and they're just kind of conveniently overlooking figures that have more global warming than we've had in the last 15 or 20 years.
You know, and here's something too, Rita, pardon my interruption, but a lot of the measuring devices, and you know this is true what I'm about ready to say, a lot of the measuring devices for this group, they have found are put in the most inappropriate places to gather data honestly. They actually found some of the thermal readers, if you will, between two cement walls with direct sunlight on them and no air or anything able to get through there. I mean, they've really prostituted the final analysis.
Well, they have, and the other part that's bad, and it makes me wonder about this, and I don't know whether anybody in our audience has run into this before or not, but we've been in business for 58 years, and so sometimes when I call suppliers that we've dealt with for the 40 years I've been here, they'll go, oh, we only have records back to 1988, and it's like, well, that's baloney.
Yeah.
And the reason is because they've left kind of the old stuff back in the archives and didn't bring it into their computer stuff. And so it makes me wonder, are they leaving some of their information off? Because 1934 was really the hottest year on record.
You don't think that somebody would try to absolutely mislead the public for something that the government wants to use as control? How dare you insinuate? I can't imagine this.
Well, and the part that's bad is that they've hijacked NASA, and so NASA is part of this big problem that we've got, and that's really sad because NASA has been a group of people that were interested in space and checking out and seeing what kind of things we can do down the road and various different things, and now they're all part of let's be friends with the Muslims and let's do the NOAA thing.
Yeah, we've got a caller with a question for you, so go ahead. Please, caller, quickly. You're on the air.
Thanks. Hey, Rita, it's just strange to bring this up. Last night I was listening to a radio show, and they talked about how a NASA scientists have figured out that the reason how come it's been hasn't been a great warming trend for the last 15 years is because the deep depths of the ocean has swallowed up the heat that has been generated by global warming. Therefore, it hasn't showed up prominently on our ice caps. I was wondering if you heard anything about that. I thought that was kind of focused, but I'll let you talk.
All right, Rita, go ahead. Is the all the temperatures and everything hiding at the bottom of the ocean, Rita?
Well, I guess they could be, and I don't know how anybody really knows that, so I can't say that they don't know what they're talking about, but I would tend to believe that with the other stuff they're spoon-feeding us, that this could be a little bit far-fetched or bogus, because what they're telling us is not the truth. They won't go out and tell us the truth because it's not in their interest for money that they need. And that's what really bothers me, is if these big organizations, they're only interested in regaining the money that they need to operate, then why would they really give us the truth if the truth didn't stack up in their defense?
Absolutely. Yeah, this global warming or climate change, and then coming out like what was in a headline on a story this morning, 2015 smashed 2014's global temperature record. And at the same time, I have had scientists on this program. I have talked to them on the telephone from Rutgers University all the way to USC in California, and we have been in a quote-unquote 17-year cooling temperature range. Why did they come out with this garbage?
Well, I think they're just trying to find out what the public will actually swallow, and it all boils down to one thing. It's not truth in giving their information out. It's money. And it's really sad because that's where everything is. It's the money thing with the Syrians down here in southeastern Idaho, and it's the money thing when it comes to just about anything. It's just we just want to get enough money and do what we can do and poke enough in our pockets, and this money is stuff that we don't have any accountability for, and it's everywhere.
I got to tell you, if you're finished with that first aspect of our show this half hour, we have another caller, and then I want to talk about former Secretary of Defense Bob Gates, and I want to get your comments on that. Caller, go ahead quickly. You're on the air.
Yeah, but Morgan.
Yes, sir.
If you want to know what your annual average temperature is, And if there's been any change at all, you take readings from your groundwater temperature, like in your well, when you run your house well for a while. Take a reading off of that water temperature there, and that gives you your annual temperature for the year.
Mm-hmm.
And you take those readings and you look at them every year, or you go back 40 or 50 or 60 years. That's how that's done.
Okay. Well, see, Earl, it took somebody that knows far more about this than me, so I appreciate your call. Rita, go ahead and respond to that, please.
Zeb?
Yes.
That's in the books from when I went to school.
Oh.
That's how we were taught, and if you think about it for a while, it makes a hell of a lot of sense.
You know, it was before Common Core, so you must really had a good education. There you go.
Well, both my parents had gone through the Depression, and that's getting to be a forgotten subject too. So.
I agree with you. Earl, good to hear from you, my friend. Rita, go ahead, please respond.
Bye-bye.
I think that's an excellent way to measure it. I am not knowledgeable in this department at all, but I am knowledgeable enough to know that somebody's feeding us a bunch of baloney. And if we will sink to swallowing it every time, of which many Americans do, many people around the world do, they can pull the mask right over top of us, and we don't even know it. And it's not in this; it's in just about everything else that there is.
Did you read the comments by former Secretary of Defense Bob Gates about Obama? Did you hear about this? This is really making the rounds in all the different newsrooms.
I did not read that. I saw him in an interview on Sunday.
Well, let me just give you a little bit of the first headline. And by the way, this is from the Daily Caller, Jonah Bennett. You've seen Jonah on television, and I've had him on my program. Let me just read this to you. The headline is, former Secretary of Defense Bob Gates said, Obama thinks he's the smartest person in the room. And he also bashed Obama for bringing on advisors who do little else but constantly agree with his proposals and are no more than just yes men. Boy, I mean, he really smashed Obama.
Well, I'm glad that somebody with a little bit of credibility is finally standing up and saying, hey, you know what, this is just a bunch of baloney. And I really think that we'll see a lot more of this starting to come out. Of course, there's the stuff with Hillary Clinton, and you've got the people in the FBI that are probably fit to be tied about right now, and they're wanting to put forth the information that they've got and do something. And of course, politically, they're we can't do this and we can't do that, and so I'm glad to see that there's somebody actually speaking out and saying something.
Well, you'll get a kick out of this. On Joe Scarborough's program on MSNBC's Morning Joe the other day, Gates was telling Joe Scarborough, and I quote, he said, the president is quoted as having said at one point to his entire staff at a meeting, I can do every one of your jobs better than you can. Unquote. Woo! There's an egotistical man if I ever heard of one.
Quite narcissistic, I would say. Absolutely. They could probably do his job, and he can't do any of theirs, be the other side of it, I would guess.
Now I'd like to talk about your favorite character, if you will, and that's Hillary Clinton. And I'm going to just ask you this. Rita, you know the news a lot better than most people. You study it. You understand what's going on. And you remember, of course, the scandal with General Petraeus and his mistress and the supposed leak of information for the writing of her book, etc., etc. And he's paying for it dearly. Now, this morning, did you hear that they want to re-prosecute him again and take away one of his stars? He's a 4-star general. They want to take away one of his stars, and that would cost him an additional $50,000 out of his pension every year. And some some people are saying they're doing this to make sure that he understands he'd better shut up about any emails and Obama and especially Hillary.
Oh, I'm sure they are doing that, and that's why it's even more important that we get a different administration in here, because when you've got stuff like that, people, and there's no doubt in my mind, my question is, and I'm pretty sure that this is the way that it happened, because when that all came down, and incidentally, the lady that he was involved with had security clearances. Mm-hmm. She was not just some Joe off of the street. She had security clearances. She had been sent there by the Pentagon to do his history. So she had all kinds of security clearances. She was probably an Obama hack and got in there and tried to do something so that they could blackmail him. Well, they got it, and he said, that's baloney. You're not going to blackmail me. I quit before they could do anything. I really think they blackmailed him, and he said, I'm not going to put up with that. So now, a few years later, here they go. They're going to go after him again until they think they can get their way. And it's really, really sad, because we have some really, really good people in the military and probably in Washington among the sludge that's there. But we have a lot of really good people that are assets to our country and the safety of our country. And here they're trying to destroy him. And it's because he won't go along with them.
Let me ask you this. We knew what he had done. And the way I understand this story, that he had a military guard on his house 24/7, 365. And that's where these documents were locked up inside of his house. And so if they were locked up inside of his house and not ever going out in front of the public, then if Hillary is letting those same kind of high classification documents go out on her private server, who did more harm and created more danger, Petraeus or Hillary?
Well, that's just it. They're trying to equate her as the person who's just being, picked on, and he actually did the bad stuff. And so, if you compare the two, she's the less of the evil. But that's not really true. We've known since we were introduced to the Clintons in the early '90s that they've got a lot of baggage, and that baggage is full of all kinds of soiled, bad stuff.
Let me ask you this final thought, and then I got to do a weather forecast. Do you personally think that, and I know that, I forgot her first name, but Crowley on Fox News has stepped up to the podium, and she says she absolutely believes that Hillary Clinton is going to be indicted for what she's done and may be in jail before the election comes up. But do you think there's enough out there to basically stop her from going after the presidency?
Well, I really do, and I also think that the other shoe will start dropping after you get to a couple of these primaries, when there's no turning back, and it's not like a whole bunch of other people can get into the race, and that they will choose who they want. There is so much baggage there, but my biggest thing is I believe, just like Monica Crowley, that Obama does not want her in the White House, and they'll do anything to keep her out of it. And right now it's just kind of we're going through the motions, and we're letting Bernie Sanders just kind of, go forward, and he's gaining the most support, because as happened in 2008, the Democrats didn't want her then either.
Yeah. We've got to get a weather forecast in here, brought to you by Mountain Transmissions. Hello, Rick Mitchell and the rest of the crew over there. And by the way, you've got transmission trouble, don't go anywhere else. Don't worry about it. The situation is under control with Mountain Transmissions. They can fix all makes and models, and believe me, repairs, rebuilds, you better believe it, they can handle the job. They've got over 30 years experience in fixing transmissions. 504 East Main in Burley. And the number to call for an appointment, 678-9110. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for 7th Ranch. Partly cloudy for today, high of 37 with an overnight low of 25 is what we are expecting. Slightly breezy as well, winds out of northeast right around 11 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy for tomorrow, high of 41 with an overnight low of 29. Possible rain and or snow showers just depending on where you're at for Saturday, and 38. Snow showers possible for Sunday, and 36. Yesterday's high was 38 and the overnight low was 23. That's your weather for Zeb Durant.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Gina. And brought to you by Mountain Transmissions. And they're located at 504 East Main in Burley. Really good, folks. 6789110. Rita, along with this mess with Hillary and then looking at Bernie Sanders, let's just forget about Hillary. Let's forget about Trump. Let's forget about everybody else for a moment. Doesn't it shock you and almost scare you to quivering that our society would be absolutely supporting a named socialist that wants to do everything in a communistic fashion if he takes over the presidency, and that's Bernie Sanders? Where is the common sense? I'm scared about that.
Well, it should make all of us quake in our shoes, and the reason is because these people who are followers of him are people who are looking for a handout. In other words, what I'm saying is they're dependent on the federal government or someone else. They're not independent. They're not out to where they have their own destiny in their hands, they think. They think that they're dependent on it. And when you offer free stuff and you know, even like you hear the advertisement, if you have school loans that are over $10,000, give us a call. We can help you with that. Well, what you do is you sign up to work for the federal government, and it's a servitude thing for a certain amount of time, and they'll forgive your debt. Well, the thing of it is this debt was accumulated by the individual. They were possibly were careless with how much they borrowed and what they borrowed, and now it's payback time. And they, like the rest of us, when you get a loan, you have to pay it off. Well, they can pay it off in their freedom, or they can pay it off in knowing that they stuck their nose right to the grindstone and just kept on chugging away till they got it taken care of. But that's what's missing in our society is there's so many people who have had all the giveaways, and it's kind of like, well, we don't really care. And some of them have lost hope in the political system because it doesn't ever work for the average person.
Yeah.
And we keep pushing against it, but there's tons of people out there that they're just indifferent about it. They say, well, nothing ever changes and it's not going to be any different, so I'm going to just not pay attention to it. So you get all of those different kinds of things wound up into one, and when Bernie Sanders comes along and says, we're going to make sure that everybody gets free education, free college and everything, all of a sudden their ears perk up, and then when they say, well, we're going to give you free health care too, and everybody, that's a big deal to everybody now because our health care system has been so drastically changed, and we don't have the power that we had at one time. And it's not any surprise that a lot of people are saying, well, it's better than Hillary, and we'll take him. And besides, he's offering a bunch of stuff, and even if part of what he is offering comes to fruition, we're the winners.
Absolutely. Real quick, I've only got about 3 minutes left, 2 actually. I want you to comment on an insidious, very hateful group that I would like to see squashed, and that's Black Lives Matter. And what they did yesterday on that bridge in San Francisco, I absolutely was teed off about that. Comment, please.
Well, when people like that get out of control and start doing things to where that commerce can't move forward, it needs to be stopped. And it's too bad that they can't just get a hold of them, pull them in, and say, okay, you're gonna be fingerprinted, and your mug shots are gonna be out there. And if we catch you doing this again, we're going to have to do the regular thing. We're not going to give you a pass on it anymore. That's the big problem, is they've been getting a pass from everybody. Nobody's saying, you know what, you can't do this. If you want to protest, you have to have a permit, just like the Republicans or the conservatives do when they get all together. And you better make sure that you don't make a mess, or you're going to have to pay for it and that kind of thing. But they've just been given a pass, and so it's just going to get worse and worse until somebody puts their foot down and says, we aren't going to do it anymore.
Yeah, but when they chained those vehicles together on that bridge, that freeway over that bridge, and then absolutely stopped all emergency vehicles, all police vehicles, all fire trucks, etc., that's about the time they should have started throwing each and every one of them right over the railing into the water.
Oh, absolutely. They should have had the police or the National Guard, whoever it took, to go out take care of things, let the bridge traffic go where it needed to go, and put those people in jail.
All right. What's going on with the Tea Party, real quick?
Actually, we had our meeting last week, so we don't have a lot going now. And in February, we've got 2 or 3 things on schedule. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do, but more information. And as we get closer into the elections and stuff, we'll be doing a lot of that kind of stuff and seeing whoever we've got locally and through the state that are running for offices and have them visit our Tea Party as well.
All right. Rita Ramsey, I appreciate it. God bless. And you go start taking water temperatures so we can come up with the real climate change facts.
I should do that. I wish I'd been doing it the last 40 years. I'd have some information.
All right. God bless, Rita. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Take
Bye.
care. Thank you very much. I really enjoy having that lady on my program, Rita Ramsey, every Thursday right here on Zeb at the Ranch. Caller, I'm only going to give you a minute because I've got to get a designated spot in, but real quick, what have you got for me? Real fast.
Hello, Zeb, Dale Whipple. Just want to tell you we got some country and western celebrities stopping by the Book Plaza Saturday from noon till 3.
And who are they going to be?
Billy Dean, Marvin Goldstein, and Vanessa Joy.
I tell you what, old Billy Dean had that song called Billy the Kid, one of my favorites, and he's going to be over at your place, the Book Plaza, right?
Right, so he's on the schedule. He's coming in on a bus. I hope he makes it.
All right. Colonel Dale, God bless you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bye.
You betcha. Great entertainment coming in this weekend. Sounds like a lot of fun. Thank you, Colonel Dale. You know, this time of the morning on Thursdays, oh yeah, you're way ahead of me. I know. I'm going to be talking about if you're hungry and starving to death, I know some great places to go. How about Taco Bandito? I love that place. 2301 Overland in Burley, and they've got the new Taco Bandito burrito with bacon and jalapeno, and they've got the steak breakfast burritos, and they've got a new lime ranch dressing. It's just absolutely phenomenal. It's great, and they've got all the steak and chicken burritos. You're going to just love everything they serve at Taco Bandito. 2301 Overland in Burley. You stop in and see them today. How about Steve-O's? 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Food made the way you love it. They've got buffalo burgers. Have you had one of those? They are just lip-smacking good, along with all the French fries. And they've got Steve-O's nacho fries topped with cheese and jalapeno peppers. Oh, my goodness. Friendly servers, great staff at Steve-O's. 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. You stop in and see them today. How about Burgers Etc.? Oh, my goodness. Not one, but 2 locations. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. Did you know that they had hamburgers for only 99 cents and cheeseburgers for only $1.29 after 3 p.m. in the afternoon? You do now. And they've got different flavors of soup every day. Oh, that's good. That's good. And every Sunday, shrimp dinner special at the Burley location. My goodness sakes, don't forget Burgers Etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert, 700 Overland in Burley. How about El Caporal? 610 North Overland in Burley. Oh my goodness, it is good. Whether it's lunch, dinner, maybe you're going to be meeting some friends over there, have a party over there. Oh, you can celebrate any occasion. And believe me, the very best of amazing Mexican food at great low prices. Great staff to serve you too. You're going to love it. El Caporal at 610 North Overland in Burley. And last but not least, how about Burgers? Oh, I hit that one already. How about the AC Drive-In? My goodness, I've got a long list here. AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Another great place to go with the ranch burgers and the famous Farmer Brown burgers and the French fries. And oh my goodness, don't forget that chicken fried steak sandwich. Knock your boots off delicious at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley, and they can make any flavored shake you want to at the AC Drive-In. Those are just a few great places to go if you're hungry and starving to death. And I am. Hey, by the way, I want to tell you, too, that you're listening to Zeb at the Ranch. Make sure you're hearing everything. Contact Mount Harrison Audiology for a hearing screening today. Call them at 312-0957. I'll be back in about 6 minutes. Don't you go away. Oh, good morning, as we cruise into the last hour this morning. Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell. Thank you very much for tuning in. And, of course, brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers, including Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Oh, let's take a little look here at the Chadwick Sports Grill. The special for today, I love this. Chicken cordon bleu, served with choice of potato, veggies, and super salad. Chicken cordon bleu at the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. Great specials every day, along with all the menu choices and nice people. Wow. Today, chicken cordon bleu. Stop in to the Chadwick Sports Grill in Burley. Really good, folks. Once again, I want to remind you, Jim Coleman family, devastating fire, lost their home and all the holdings in the home. And if you need an update on what they need as far as clothing, furniture, money donations, etc., I know that Gene Brown really has put together a lot of help and assistance for the Coleman family. And you can reach him on the number of 731-9018, or you can go to the City of Hazleton Facebook page, and they'll have everything as to what they need. And if you want to send cash donations, be sure and send it to the American Legion Post number 82, 401 Brooks Avenue in Hazleton. Okay? Got you covered on that. Let's see what else have we got cooking here. Oh, we're just about ready in just a little bit to have our next segment, which is Cassia County School Days. And we're very, very blessed to have 2 great sponsors of Cassia County School Days. And I want to say thanks especially to Linda and Joe Peterson. They jumped in with both feet and sponsored this segment. They are very, very strong behind Cassia County School System. And, of course, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley. And you better take advantage. They've got a sale going on of 40 to 50% off all the winter items like clothes, hats, and coats, etc. And they've got all great kids, puzzles, and games and everything. Great place to go shopping. A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And along with the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. Number to call to save money on your outpatient surgeries, 677-8888. Whether it's cataract and eye surgery or whether it's life-saving colonoscopies, dental procedures, I'm telling you, call them first. 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center, along with the Child's World, bringing you School Days in Cassia County. Right now, one of my favorite people, I haven't told her that in the past, but that's very, very true. She gets on this program on behalf of Cassia County School Days and does a wonderful job. The district nurse for Cassia County, Kyle Hodges, good morning. How are you?
Oh, I apologize about that, sir. She hasn't called in yet.
Oh, well, that's not your fault.
I'm not sure why.
Hopefully, she will be on the phone line in just a moment. And
I hope so, too.
Oh, yeah, me too. But she's supposed to be calling in momentarily. Okay. And let us know the minute that she does. I would sure appreciate that. I had another little story that I'm going to be talking about at 10:32 this morning for a few minutes. And that's about how the United States Navy is going to be looking to remove the terminology man from all of its job description titles. They are trying to become, along with the rest of the military, politically correct and take the word man out of all the job titles. I'll get into that at about 10:32 this morning, but I just can't even imagine. The stupidity of political correctness is just absolutely overwhelming. Calls are welcome until we do get our call from Kyle Hodges. Somebody give me a jingle at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Again, waiting for Kyle Hodges, the Cassia County District Nurse, to give us a call, and she's scheduled for our program this morning. Anybody calling in yet over there?
No, sir, I haven't gotten anything yet.
I'm getting a little nervous. I'll tell you what, if she doesn't call in the next few minutes, once again, somebody give me a call. We'll talk about anything you want to talk about during this segment. And time is wasting, Kyle. Get on the phone, please, and give us a call if you would. I'd like to hear from you. And due to the fact that I was expecting her to call in, I'm sitting here kind of twiddling my thumbs and going, oh, goody, goody. I have nothing to talk about for the next 20 minutes because that was scheduled as it is every week. So your calls will be welcome at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I tell you what, Wheels, why don't you try the following number real quick? Are you there listening?
On, sir.
Oh, you got her. Okay.
I do.
All right, Kyle, don't you dare scare me like that. Are you there?
Oh, I am.
Oh, for a while there, I figured you weren't going to call into the program. I was getting really nervous.
I thought that I was 1010, so I apologize. I was visiting with one of my schools on the phone.
So. Yeah, but it's 1012.
1012. Oh, I'm sorry. My computer says 1005.
Well, you've got a very old, slow computer. You'd better get rid of it.
I better.
Okay. Now, I'm glad you're on the phone. And I said earlier you're one of my favorite people to talk to as the district nurse for Cassia County. But tell us a little bit about what these food backpacks are. I've got 1,000 questions for you, so give us a little explanation.
Well, the backpack program that we have in our schools is a program that comes from the Idaho Food Bank. And the program that we have in our schools, this is probably my 7th year of overseeing this program. The backpack program is initiated as a program to help with children. We know a lot of children come from families that maybe food is an issue in their homes. They may not have access or enough food for their families for the entire weekend. And we're well aware of the fact that many of our kids in our schools eat breakfast and lunch at our schools and sometimes go home in the evening to families that parents are working or they go home and they're alone. So the Food Backpack Program was instituted to help as an assistance for children to have food for the weekends. And it's a bag of food that goes home with children on Fridays, has 3 meals for Saturday, 3 meals for Sunday, as well as drinks and snacks. So this is a program that is one of the programs that's overseen by the Idaho Food Bank. They have many different programs, obviously, that they oversee, but the food program in our school started 7 years ago. We started with a small number of bags of food. I think originally we had 30 bags that were provided to our school district to feed 30 children. We now are feeding over 110 children a week.
Wow.
And these children come to our attention from families that are struggling, and sometimes the struggle is a family that's out of work. It could be a parent that maybe had a medical emergency, a medical calamity, and they are struggling to just put food on the table for their families. So this is an added assistance for them. We have grandparents that are raising grandchildren, and it just seems as though the list goes on and on and on of children that are identified in our schools.
Okay,
we
now
have this program in 10 of our different schools across our school district, and so we kind of have stretched this program to meet the needs of many kids.
Okay, Kyle, I think the idea and the merit of the idea is absolutely exceptional because it's not the kids' fault. They need the food, they need the nutrition. But now hear me out on this for a minute. But I'm very, very skeptical that a lot of parents are shirking their responsibility to take care of their kids, and they're using this as an excuse for someone else to do the job.
Well, I hear exactly what you're saying, and unfortunately, small children really are the ones that are suffering from this situation. And,
I agree.
I think the families that I've worked with, some of them really are working so hard. I mean, we have families that are working 2 part-time jobs, minimum wages, and are still not making actually a living that would take them above the poverty level. And, I think that's a reality that many of us that work and that go home and have food on our pantries and are able to have way more than we need in abundance, we have to really recognize that there's a lot of families in our community that don't live in that same style that we are accustomed to. And I walk in and out of many of these homes doing home visits, and it's a real reality for a lot of people in our community. And I just think we really don't open our eyes to recognize that we have neighbors that sometimes have lost a job or have had a medical illness, and they are paying huge medical bills, and they're not able to stretch their dollars that they have to buy food for their family.
So you're saying this is an escalating problem that's getting larger and larger every year, and it's really not being addressed. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, I think that it's one of those things that unless you actually kind of walk into this arena of food insecurity, you don't recognize that it's not just people that are out of work. It's people that sometimes have jobs that really have so many other additional bills that really they are truly living in poverty. I noticed it a lot at the holidays when we have families now. It's been so super, super cold. People are having to pay exorbitant power bills and heating bills. And if all of your money is going out to your utilities, you don't have money to buy food.
Right.
So, it's sometimes logistically you just recognize that these families are living in poverty and not able to buy food for their families.
Well, then let me back up, and I'm going to be highly critical, and that's part of my job here on this program, and I'm going to maintain a level of consistency on all subjects. When I look back at some of the newspaper stories that were in the Times News as of last summer, where they said anybody and all walks of life, regardless of income, etc., are welcome to go get lunches in the park free. To me, that's a drain on the system, because if you're financially able to feed your own kids, you should. And why should they drain money out of a system like for that program, and then there are absolutely crying little ones that need money and food on the other end?
Well, and that lunch program is a subsidized program, so I believe, I can't speak 100% to that because I am not involved in that program, but the lunch in the park is a subsidized food.
Yeah, but all subsidies come from the American taxpayer, our money.
Right. And these are programs that runs for 11 weeks, and predominantly that program initially was instituted to probably help feed families that were not having access to food, children that were dependent on their school lunch program. And I think because of the fact that the subsidies and the food has come from different sources, some of that food I do believe comes from the Idaho Food Bank, because I think they assist in that summer feeding program. So many of those are donated items or donated money that's earmarked specifically for that feeding program.
Yeah, but my animosity, Kyle, is not against these little children. My tears run down my cheek when I see somebody that's hungry. But when you advertise that those kind of activities are going to be open to everybody, and regardless of your income or your status, and you see moms and dads driving up and getting out, the kids get out of Lexuses and BMWs, that's an absolutely repulsive statement to our society.
Well, I think that's probably the smaller portion of individuals that utilize that program. And I have participated or helped with that feeding program in the past, and I know their intention is that it is to help assist families, but it is a subsidized program, you're right. We do have our breakfast in the school programs, and that's free to everybody, and it really is encouraging people to just eat at schools and to encourage those kids to have a full stomach so that they do better with their their educations and they're alert and attentive. I think the summer feeding program, the intent is basically the same thing, for good nutrition and to provide food for kids.
What about these little kids that you give, I'm assuming you provide a backpack for them or put food in a backpack for them to go home over the weekend. Are they getting home with the food? I mean, are they absolutely getting the nutrition at that point? Do the parents really take attention to the problem and make sure that the food is prepared?
We do a very, very good job of identifying need in these families. When we maybe, I personally call every single one of these parents. And so I explain what the program is, ask what their need is in their family, will the food be an assist for their family. And every year we have families, when I call to ask, is food insecurity an issue in your home? Would this program benefit you? Every single year I do have families that will say, oh my gosh, we're doing okay, we're doing better, please give the food to somebody else. So on that note, we have people that are very, very, very honest about that program. We do a survey. The food bank sends a survey home with bags of food once a year, and that survey goes to the child as well as the parent, asking if this was an assistance. Were you able to eat all the food? Is there something we could do different in this program? And so they do a really, really good job of polling to make sure that it's actually successful. We do have children that will come, Deb, on Wednesday, perhaps, middle of the week, and will come up and say, oh my gosh, I'm really hungry. I know I can't get my food till Friday, but is there any way you can give me my food home early because I'm hungry?
Yeah.
We know that children go home to empty households after school. Parents work. We have many children that are being raised by, a single parent, and they're struggling, trying to work a couple jobs just to be able to maintain their family units. But everybody doesn't come from that perfect family household of, going home and having a warm meal ready for that child in the evening. And so I think this is a wonderful program that we participate in, and I'm fairly certain that there might be a child that opens that bag of food on the bus, but it's probably very few that occurs to. So that food, I do believe, is getting home to where it needs to be a help for them.
Well, I compliment you for what you're doing, and I always know we're going to have a good conversation when we get you on the program. Kyle Hodges, District Nurse of Cassia County, thank you for being on the program this morning, and hopefully you'll soon return.
Thanks very much, Deb. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. All of that with Kyle Hodges, the District Nurse. Thank you very much. Brought to you by A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and along with the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley, bringing you school days in Cassia County. Right now, I think Old Wheels has got my next guest on the phone, and I'm going to play 20 questions. I'm not sure who it is. Is it Nick or Randy over at Let's Ride?
I'm getting him real quick, sir.
Okay, Wheels, thank you. We're going to visit with Let's Ride, where the fun is sold, here just momentarily. A little program note, don't forget, we've got Lunch Bunch coming up at 11:30 this morning at Denny's, 611 Overland in Burley, and it's our first one of the year, and we want to say thank you for the gift certificates to Stokes Fresh Food Market, along with Hanson Mortuary and Walmart. Thank you for all your support. Let's see if Wheels has got somebody for me. Who's there?
Yes, I got Randy for you.
All right. Randy Handy Randy over there at Let's Ride. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you doing this morning, Deb?
Not too bad. You're located at 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the entire world, where the fun is sold. Okay, we need to have some fun. What's going on over there?
Oh, a little bit of everything. The snow definitely helps out. We have some snowmobiles left. We have the ATVs, side-by-sides, the track kits for the snow bikes. We've got just about a little bit of everything.
I would imagine, Randy, that I'm saying this now because I'm getting excited about it. The minute it turns towards the 1st of February, I'm starting to think about getting on that ATV, my four-wheeler, and getting lost up in the hills. Are a lot of people coming in and checking out the ATVs?
Yep. ATVs right now are just starting to take off. A lot of people are still using them to push snow, putting plows on and whatnot. But yeah, the spring fever is definitely right around the corner.
Well, have you ever stopped and counted how many you have on your showroom floor? I mean, I don't know who parked all that stuff, but they had a great job ahead of them.
We probably have, I would say, close to 50 ATVs on the showroom floor right now.
Oh, my goodness sakes. Are there any changes? Are there any changes, Randy, what's going on in the four-wheeled industry? Are they any innovative changes or something new for 2016?
Not a ton. I mean, we see new models and new suspension upgrades and whatnot. The side-by-sides, the UTV market is really where the focus is right now. That is a very, very popular segment of this market. So, ATVs, you see changes a little bit in color and features, but as far as the big stuff is with the UTVs right now.
Now, what is the advantage or what is the big sales item about the side-by-sides? I mean, why would people want to get those over maybe a singular riding ATV?
I think just so that they can take the family with them. You can buy a 4-seat UTV. You can take the wife and kids with you and go out and just get lost, like you said, up in the mountains.
Okay. Now, what about all the accessories? Because, man, you've got everything for that outdoor fun.
Yep, we do. We have, you name it, we've got it. We have parts and anything for your ATV, UTV, snowmobile, dirt bike. I mean, we usually have it in stock.
Okay.
And if we don't have it, we can get it to you really quick.
Randy, one other thing, too, I would imagine, and I don't want to jump ahead of you, but I would think that right now, looking at almost the 1st of February, that if you're going to get ready for this next season of riding up in the hills, you'd better think about servicing those vehicles.
Yep, and right now, and I've been telling everybody, especially all the ranchers and farmers and people that use these for a work tool, get them in now, and then you're not out 2 to 3 weeks once the weather breaks.
Okay.
Get them serviced, get them ready, pre-seasoned, ready to roll for when the weather gets nice.
I've had a lot of people call me over here at the studio and ask me about used ATVs for irrigation vehicles. Have you got quite a few?
Not as of yet. I don't have a whole ton of the used ones yet, but they start trickling in next. We'll start seeing them within the next month. People will upgrade and trade in theirs. We'll go through them in the service department and have them ready for the spring. So. Okay.
And what else would you like somebody to know about Let's Ride today? I mean, you even got motorcycle accessories too, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Road bikes. We have generators. Watercraft is right around the corner as well. So, I mean, we have basically anything that you can think of to have fun in the spring and the winter and the fall, we have here.
Well, I'll tell you what, I thank the good Lord above that Nick talked me into buying a couple of those about 3-4 years ago. That's the most fun I've had in a long time.
They are. They're a blast, that's for sure.
And your slogan that I hung on you, where the fun is sold, it really is true. You've got it all waiting right there at 270 Highway 24, don't you?
Yes, we do. Just come in and say hi at least. I mean, just come check out the shop if you've never been in it.
All right, what are the hours that you're open now?
We are open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, and then on Saturdays we are open from 9 to 4, and we're closed on Sunday.
All right, there you go. Let's Ride, where the fun is sold. Really great people. Hey, Randy, good job this morning. Thank you much.
Thanks, Deb. We'll talk to you later.
You bet. Take care.
Bye.
Good folks over there, and they've been on my program for a long time. I highly recommend Let's Ride. We're going to take a little break for about 3 minutes and be right back. Don't go away. Zeb at the Ranch.
And now back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Oh, my goodness sakes, welcome back to the last couple of minutes of our program for this morning. And I'd like to turn it into an open forum right now. We'll talk about anything and everything that you want to talk about. One of the things I was just checking on my smartphone, looking at the stock market. Holy cow. I don't know if a lot of you have stocks. I don't know if a lot of you have ever invested in the stock market, but it is right now a car going down a mountain without a steering wheel or brakes. It is really plummeting. And Deanna and I made a decision this last week, a week ago, that we weren't going to run any more risk. We weren't going to play the gambler anymore, and we liquidated a lot of our stocks. And then you have people that criticize you and say, oh, well, you should have ridden it out. Why? It'll level off and go up, and you'll be foolish for getting rid of your stock. Maybe so. But with the losses that our small portfolio has absorbed as of late, I'm done riding that horse down a mountain. I don't want to get on it again. I was reading this in the Wall Street Journal, and it was about investors like you and me, and it said, investors should expect the roller coaster ride to continue. And I noticed the market's down again this morning. Given the heightened concerns over the trajectory, listen to this speak that they've got in here. I mean, holy cow, they practice this. Given the heightened concerns over the trajectory of global growth and fear of potential policy mistakes emanating from policymakers at the Federal Reserve and in China, volatility is likely to remain at elevated levels. Oh, that makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Does it you? In other words, this plummeting downward looks like it's going to stay with us for quite some time. We didn't have a lot of money left in the stock market. Thank the good Lord above. But I know a lot of people that I've talked to over the last couple of days that are just walking around bumping into walls because their eyes are glazed over and they're losing just literally tons and tons of money that they'd put away for savings and retirement. And the stock market, due to whatever problems they want to blame it on, plunging oil prices, weakening global growth, and rising fears of a U.S. recession, oh, thank you, Obama, for leaving us in such great shape, is going to make the stock market even tougher right now to try to come back from. And when and at what price level the selling will end and lowering the markets even more is very tough to pinpoint, but there's a sense that the current downdraft is not over quite yet. Not very encouraging words for Wall Street and our stock portfolios, if you have any. Give me a call, please, at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. A little bit ago, I was talking about this story, and to me, it's lunacy. Maybe to you it makes sense. I don't know. I just think that we're being very nitpicky about our society. Now the Navy is looking to remove the word man from all of their job titles. Whether it's fireman or seaman, airman or yeoman, it's going to change. They've got to come up with different terminologies. And supposedly the Secretary of the Navy said that they're going to ensure that all will be gender integrated neutral, as well as removing man from their titles, and provide a report on all the different terminologies and verbiage. And it's going to change a lot of things. Airman, construction man, fireman, hospital man, seaman, yeoman, legal man. I mean, the list goes on and on. What do you think about this? Why are we pandering and trying to change everything to be a politically correct society? Please, if you think I'm wrong in all these terminologies, all these references to a gender-neutral society, what are your thoughts? Please give me a call quickly at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. There's a lady back in New York, I believe, or a town back on the East Coast, I'm not sure. She's leading a charge to make sure that no city ever refers to manhole covers anymore. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. You know, what are we going to do if we get rid of all the men in the world? You probably aren't going to, well, I guess you could have babies through artificial insemination to populate the world, to furnish the people for the Army and the Navy. And these groups that want to do away with man, or the term man.
Have you ever thought, Jerry, just a minute, let me ask you this. Have you ever sat down and made a list of all the words that refer to man in them, whether it's postman, whether it's milkman, whether it's airman, whatever? I mean, my goodness, why do we have to sanitize our language and change everything over?
You know, Zeb, I have never made that list, and I never will. To me, man is an honorable thing, and woman is an honorable thing. And I don't think we need to be cleansing everything up to fit one or two people's beliefs somewhere out there that's dumb enough to think like that, and I can't even imagine there's one or two.
You know, Jerry, when it comes to maybe an offensive statement, that's not offensive if you use the term airman, first class, or yeoman, whatever it is. I mean, my goodness, I am sick and tired of changing society and tipping it upside down just to be in accord with, like you stated very succinctly, one or two complainers.
Well, it's just plumb ludicrous. And you know, how much money is it going to cost to do these?
Oh, boy.
And, boy, you know, it's just completely ridiculous to even start.
Yeah, what are you going to call them?
It just makes no sense at all.
Are you going to call them, like, instead of airmen, you're going to call them air person? I mean, come on, this is ridiculous.
Well, you know, the Air Force is pretty proud of that term, airman.
Yes. Jerry, God bless you.
I don't think that they're going to change it.
I hope not.
The Navy might and the Army might. But, you know, you just can't take men out of everything. It just don't work.
I agree.
We got to have men. We got to have women.
Jerry, thank you.
Let's leave it that way, and let's leave it alone.
I agree with you. I got another call waiting. Jerry, God bless you, man. Thank you so much.
You bet. Have a wonderful day, man.
All right. Thank you. Caller, what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead.
Well, Zeb, if you take the word woman, there is a man in woman.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And and part of a woman is a man.
Yeah.
Therefore, you can't have one without the other. Like my wife, she compliments me. I'd be one hell of a mess if it wasn't for her. I do apologize, but that's the straight up fact.
Yeah, but what are we going to, wait a minute, what are we going to do? Stop calling women, and we're going to go to female gender person?
That's exactly what I was getting at. And where are they going to start calling men?
Yeah.
Where does it stop?
Male gender person.
The way it is for the reason that it is.
Yeah. I'll tell you this right now. I'll tell you this right now, my friend. I, on this program, will not do that. I am always going to make a reference to what I have been raised in the terminology that I think is appropriate and not being rude to anybody. But I'm not about to succumb to this politically correct garbage that's going across our country.
And I agree. Well, I got to run, my friend.
All right, take care. Calls are welcome, 436-2244. Are we going to eliminate the term ladies and gentlemen and just refer to everybody as, hi, y'all, how you doing? I mean, come on. Or, good evening, gender-neutral people. This is insane. Absolutely insane. You know, I think back at some of the stories that are coming up from some of the women that are lady activists, and I use the term lady loosely, that really get upset. I remember vividly opening a door for a woman in Twin Falls I think it was at the courthouse not too long ago. And she was highly upset because I did that, because she told me, she looked me right in the eye and says, I'm perfectly capable of opening the door myself. Now, I will be very honest with you. I had a sudden urge to let the door go. Never mind, I won't finish the rest of the story. Caller, good morning, you're on the air.
Hey, Zeb, I think some people have too much time on their hands.
Amen.
find them another job or give them something better to do besides this political correctness crap.
But do you realize how much money...
I don't even think it's political correctness, in my opinion.
No, it's not. But do you realize how much money, honestly, taxpayer money, that would be used to transition away from certain things like airman, gentleman, gentleman on a bathroom door, and make them all gender neutral? This is insanity.
Yeah, I don't... You know, there might be some small groups where that's going to change, and maybe the Navy, but I don't know how it can happen. It's just ludicrous.
Well,
ludicrous that these people think of these things.
You know, you got to admit to me, though, my friend, that what we didn't think was ever possible of coming up because it was insane 10 years ago, look at what's happening in our society.
Everything's possible anymore.
Amen. Thank you for your call. God bless you, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one.
And notice I said man, and I meant it. I'm going to refer to the genders as they are. I can't help it. Some people are confused as to what they represent. Anyway, we're going to go to the weather forecast right now. Wheels is over there at the main studio chomping on the bit. We're going to be talking about Scarrows Meats. 331 North Road, Jerome, and they're changing the way we eat one delicious bite at a time. Oh, my goodness. Everything they sell is guaranteed, and everything they sell is delicious. All the beef, all the pork, all the chicken, everything. You call them today. Scarrows Meats, 324-7657. And now here's Gina with the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for 7th Ranch. Partly cloudy for today, high of 37 with an overnight low of 25 is what we are expecting. Slightly breezy as well. Winds out of northeast right around 11 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy for tomorrow, high of 41 with an overnight low of 29. Possible rain and or snow showers just depending on where you're at for Saturday, and 38. Snow showers possible for Sunday and 36. Yesterday's high was 38 and the overnight low was 23. That's your weather for 7th Ranch.
Gina does a great job. Lovely lady. Scarrows Meats, of course, bringing us the weather this hour at 331 North Road, Jerome, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat one delicious bite at a time. I think I'll do that this weekend sometime while I'm in my geezer chair or whatever. I'm going to try to make a list of all the idiocy that they want to change. They want to stop the use of the terminology man. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. You know, I was thinking about your comments about mail or, mailman stuff. My mom was a mailman for a few years, and we never thought twice about it. She made a perfectly nice mailman.
Was she offended because somebody called her a mailman?
No, she wouldn't have been offended at all. The other thing that I think about is a lot of times when you're saying man behind whatever, it's just a shortcut instead of saying human. They're just, you're just saying man. In the scriptures, when they say God loves all mankind, I'm sure he loves women just as much. It's a synonym for human being.
Yeah, you just brought up an excellent word that is going to really be intriguing to see if they want to get rid of the word human. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Anyways, that's just my thought.
No, I appreciate that. It's just complete lunacy as to what's going on, and I'll ask you the same question I asked the gentleman before. Did you ever think 10 years ago that we would be in this political correctness garbage like we are today?
You know what I think? I think there's a lot more important things to be concerned about than this sort of thing. I think this is just garbage, and I think a lot of this stuff that goes on is just garbage. It's much to do about nothing. If we would focus on the things that are truly important, we could get a lot more things accomplished.
I agree with you, but would you also agree with this, is that I think the left likes to throw these things into the fire because they know they have to be addressed. They know they can force the issue, and if nobody says or does anything about it, they'll change our society upside down. Would you agree with that?
Oh, I agree, and like I said, it's much to do about nothing. It's just a waste of time. But yeah, I agree that it boggles my mind why people waste on this sort of thing.
I agree. God bless you, and have a great weekend. Okay.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Real quick, I want to remind everybody about your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you. Oh, boy, service is the key word. These are really nice people. And they've got all the traction tires. You better believe it. They can help you with your driving, whatever you have, a car, pickup, whatever. And don't forget, to the very, very best in brake service with professionally trained technicians and premium quality parts. As I said earlier, the best in front-end alignment specials. And, of course, shocks and struts and batteries. They've got it all right there at all 7 locations serving you. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul. Boy, those are good folks. John on Poline and Twin, and my buddy Randy on Overland and Burley. They are there to serve you, and serve you they do. With the best of tires and service, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. You've been listening to Zeb at the Ranch. Make sure you're hearing everything. Contact Mount Harrison Audiology for a hearing screening. Call them at 312-0957 today. Some of you probably looked at your watch and said, well, it's not 11 o'clock yet. Well, I've got to head for Lunch Bunch. And Old Wheels, he's over at the station. He's going to play a couple of tunes so I can get on the road and go to Lunch Bunch. But I want to extend to you and your family God's blessings for a wonderful weekend. And we'll see you back here next Monday morning at 8:06. The way things were are the way things ought to be. God bless you. We'll see you then.